second game that I wanted to talk about, Chelsea versus Southampton. Kepa. What can I say about Kepa? Every week, it seems like every time he gets a chance to start for Chelsea, it looks like he's messing up. It looks like he's just lost all his confidence. The one question I keep asking every time I see Kepa play, how are you the most expensive keeper in the world? Who signed off on that? How did you warrant that big of a price tag? You're a bad keeper. But all the blame shouldn't go on Kepa. Zouma, my God. One of my friends just reminded me the other day that he was actually the starting center back for France when they won the World Cup, next to the Real Madrid center back. What's it? Varane. Yeah, he was the starting center back in the World Cup, and I think I checked and that was right. But I think Zouma is terrible. It was a horrible pass back to Kepa. You put Kepa in no man's land, and then to be fair, Kepa could have came out better, and he just looks sloppy and like he doesn't know what he's doing. But the thing that frustrated me the most, in case you guys didn't know, Chelsea was up 3-1 and they blew it. They lost. They tied 3-3. The thing that frustrated the most about Zouma is that he's ball watching. The ball goes over his top. He's trying to pass it back to his keeper. Super weak pass back to Kepa. And then Kepa messes up too. But the play gets elongated. Like the play, it was not just, all right, Zouma messed up, Kepa messed up, and then they score. Like Kepa was running around trying to fix his mistake and stop Southampton from scoring. And Zouma is just, once he messed up, he just starts walking and watching what's going on. Just watching Kepa trying to fix whatever is going on. And Zouma just the whole time is just watching the ball, walking, not like, I expect you to get on a full sprint and defend the goal and try to salvage the mistake that you made. And that was not the case. He just ball watched. He just let it happen. And it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough for a title contending team. It's not good enough for Chelsea. It's just not good enough. And Thiago Silva didn't play because he had international duties, and I think he had a quarantine or something like that. I don't know why he didn't play, but having Zouma back there, I don't like Zouma. I've never rated him. I think he's a bad center back. He shouldn't be starting for Chelsea. He's just not good enough. He doesn't have that demeanor to be a leader from the back. And ball watching yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever they played, and not getting back after it was your mistake that your team is in that situation and you're just ball watching is just, I don't know. If I was Lampard, I would chew him out in the locker room, and I would point to that footage and say, if you're gonna play like this, if you're not gonna show effort after you mess up, you're not seeing the pitch. And I don't care if you have high wages or if you're regarded as a promising young center back, you're not gonna see the field if you keep doing this and you don't show more effort. But with that being said, Chelsea's offense looks like it's finally turning on. It looks like they're finding their rhythm. It looks like Werner and Pulisic are connecting on the top. They actually look really good together. Pulisic and Werner looked like they were finding each other. It looked like they had good chemistry already. So that's good for them. Werner, after coming from the Bundesliga, he finally got his first Premier League goals. I think he had scored in the cup already, but he finally got his first 2 Premier League goals. The second one was especially class. Great pass over the top, I think by Jorginho. He sent it over the top, chipped the keeper, and calmly finished it with his header. Good goal by Werner, good game. Chelsea's offense looks elite. I saw a comment that said, like, the top is a super nice Mercedes-Benz. Their midfield is like a BMW, and then their defense is like a junkyard car. Like nothing. Like it's pathetic. And I kind of agree with that. The Chelsea's offense looks good. Pulisic looked pretty good coming back from injury. The one gripe, or one of the gripes I have with Lampard is just he keeps putting Pulisic as a right winger just so he could have Mount as the left wing. and I don't rate Mount at all. The reason he's probably playing is because he's English and they get favorited in the EPL, but he's not a good player in my opinion. He's a decent above average player that could get minutes, that could have a roster spot on one of these teams. But he's, in my opinion, he's not an everyday starter for a top 4 team, or at least he hasn't shown it yet. And the fact that he's choosing to put Mount as the left wing instead of Pulisic, that's where Pulisic is the strongest at. If he's at the left wing position, Pulisic becomes one of the best players in the Premier League, and he's shown that in the conclusion of last season. When he's put in the left wing position, he's a monster. He showed it against Liverpool. Once Pulisic came in and he played that left wing position against Liverpool last season, he completely changed that team, changed the game. He's a righty. His right foot's his dominant foot. So when he's put on the left wing and he's able to cut in and onto his right foot, it's night and day for Pulisic. He becomes really dangerous. He has the pace to take players head on. He's quick on his feet. He's just a different player when he plays that left wing position. And it just frustrates me that that Lampard keeps putting Mount on that left wing position and puts Pulisic on the right wing. Even though Pulisic is still good enough to, get a good game on the right side, that left side would make him especially dangerous. So, Lampard, if you're listening, or someone that knows Lampard, or we can get a movement going, put Pulisic on the left side. That's where he shines the most. But Lampard, as far as Lampard goes, I mean, he's a club legend, so I think they're gonna have a long thread with him. They're not gonna fire him just because he's a legend. And I know it's a new team. They had a lot of signings this offseason. They spent a lot of money, so it takes a while to get chemistry going. But I just feel like Lampard might have gotten this job too early. It looks like he doesn't have his tactics set. I feel like they've dropped points, not so much, obviously, because of their defense. Number one, their defense is terrible. That's why they're dropping points. But I feel like they're also dropping points because of Lampard, because he doesn't know how to see the game out. He doesn't know how to make strategic subs. And he's honestly, he sometimes it looks like he's just a rookie coach. And, that's understandable. He hasn't been coaching for that long. But some of his subs just don't make sense. He subbed in James and he put him in the midfield when they were trying to see the game out. I think the most smart decision would have been to go to a back 3, put another center back in, and help fortify that defense just to see the game out and get the points and get out of there. Instead, he puts James and he puts him on the midfield, and they ended up giving up another goal and they tied 3-3. And just the defense, he can't fix the defense. And I know, it's not on him. The players have to defend, but in the 43 games that Frank Lampard has been the coach for Chelsea, they've given up 63 goals. So that's about 1.5 goals per game, and that's just not good enough. Because if you're depending on your offense to score 2 to 3 goals every game, that's a tough ask for any team. You're gonna have to keep some clean sheets, and he's really struggling to get those clean sheets and get his defense together. So Chelsea's not done by any means. Like I said, all these top 6, all these title contender teams this season, they've all dropped points. The table is really condensed right now. It's Everton, Aston Villa, and then after them, from 3 to 15, it's super close. So everyone's still alive. There's no need to panic. Lampard is probably going to be given to the end of the season. Even then, this is a COVID season, so I don't realistically see them getting rid of him, but he needs to start getting some results. He needs to start playing Pulisic on the left wing. He needs to start making his defense play tougher. He needs to bench Kepa, first of all. It's been long enough. They've given him enough chances. It looks like he lost all his confidence. He probably needs to change the scenery. He needs to go to a team with a different price tag next to his name, so he doesn't have all the pressure. And he needs to get Thiago Silva back, even though he's messed up too. But he's more seasoned. He's a veteran. I believe he's gonna play better at defense than Zouma. And he needs to hope that their offense carries them through the season, because that defense is bad. And thankfully for them, the offense looks like it's going to be really strong, really strong for the rest of the season. They're pretty deep on the offensive side, and they just need their defense to step up a little bit. As far as Southampton, Walcott made his Walcott's back with Southampton, his boyhood club. Played with Everton, had a long stint with Arsenal. He was a promising player at one point. Everybody thought he was going to be like really good. He turned out just to be all right, just to be pretty good. He looked dangerous with Southampton. He looked like he was getting involved a lot with Southampton, not just like on the right side. He was cutting in the middle. He's creating plays. Southampton looked like a pretty good team. They're probably going to be a mid-table team going like throughout the rest of the season. So good for Southampton. I'm glad. I would never want Southampton to go down. They're one of those teams that I just like having in the Premier League.